Welcome back to NASCAR Wire Report, where we break down everything happening inside the sport. No fluff, no filler, just real NASCAR talk for real NASCAR fans. And if you thought this season was already delivering, Texas Motor Speedway just turned things up to a completely different level. Because what came out of this Texas weekend was not one story. It was not even two stories. It was a full weekend of chaos, controversy, and moments that had fans sitting at home staring at their screens thinking, how is all of this actually happening right now? And the answer is simple. This is what NASCAR looks like when the pressure of a season starts getting real. So here at NASCAR Wire Report, we are breaking down both massive stories coming out of Texas today. One involves a huge name starting dead last before the race even had a chance to begin. And the other is honestly one of the strangest things we have seen happen to a single driver in a Cup Series race in recent memory. Stay with us, because both of these stories say a lot more about where this season is heading than just what happened on Sunday. Let's get into it. Story 1, Bubba Wallace, Austin Dillon, and starting from the back. Before the WRTH 400 at Texas Motor Speedway even had a chance to get going, two well-known names were already in trouble. Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon both officially received pre-race penalties, sending them to the rear of the field. But here is the thing. The situations for these two drivers were completely different, and understanding that difference matters. For Bubba Wallace, the trouble started during practice. The number 23-23-11 Racing Toyota got into a crash, and the damage was serious enough that the team had no choice but to go to a backup car. The moment you go to a backup car in NASCAR, you are automatically going to the rear. No questions asked. No appeal. You start at the back. For Austin Dillon, it was a completely different kind of disaster. The number 3 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet blew an engine before qualifying even happened. No qualifying lap completed means no starting position earned the normal way, and that sends you straight to the rear as well. So yes, NASCAR officially handed both drivers pre-race to the rear penalties. But in reality, neither one had completed a qualifying lap anyway, so the penalty itself did not change their starting position. They were already locked into the last row regardless. But here's where it gets interesting. For Bubba Wallace specifically, this kind of moment does not happen in a vacuum anymore. NASCAR fans have a long memory. And right now, every issue involving Bubba Wallace gets amplified because of everything that has built up around him over the last couple of seasons. Fans remember the $50,000 fine from the Chicago street race after the contact with Alex Bowman on the cool-down lap. They remember the massive $100,000 penalty against 2311 Racing after Martinsville during the playoffs. Add in the pit road speeding penalties in Nashville and Phoenix, and suddenly a practice crash and a backup car situation at Texas feels like part of a larger pattern to a lot of people watching. And that pressure is real, because this season carries enormous expectations for Bubba Wallace and for 2311 Racing as an organization. When you look at a team that also has Tyler Reddick, Corey Heim, and Riley Herbst, and when you consider the backing that comes with Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan being involved, fans expect this team to be running at the front every single week. Starting dead last at Texas is not what that level of expectation looks like. The field itself at Texas made things even harder. Carson Hocevar put the number 77 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet on pole, which genuinely surprised a lot of people. Daniel Suarez lined up second in another Spire Motorsports Chevrolet, giving Spire a stunning front-row lockout. Chris Buescher started third for RFK Racing, with Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe rounding out the top 5. Inside the top 15, you had Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric, Chase Elliott, and William Byron. That is a stacked, loaded lineup from front to back. And at Texas Motor Speedway, track position is everything. Dirty air kills your race. Restarts are dangerous. One mistake, and your whole day unravels before you can blink. Starting from the rear at Texas is not just a disadvantage. It is a massive uphill battle from the very first lap. And that is the reality both Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon were facing before the race even started. Story 2, Todd Gilliland and 6 penalties for the same mistake. Now let's talk about the story that honestly had fans doing a double take while watching it live. Because what happened to Todd Gilliland during the WRTH 400 was one of the most unusual penalty situations we have seen in a Cup Series race in a very long time. Todd Gilliland received 6 separate penalties during the race. 6. All for the exact same infraction. Pitting before pit road was officially open. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. 6 different times NASCAR penalized the number 34 Front Row Motorsports Ford for the same mistake. And if that was not already hard enough to believe, Gilliland somehow received that same penalty twice on lap 97 alone. 2 penalties. Same infraction. Same lap. Here at NASCAR Wire Report, we cover a lot of races and a lot of penalty situations. But 6 identical penalties in a single afternoon is genuinely something that stands out as one of the more remarkable things we have seen happen to one driver in recent Cup Series history. By the time the race was over, Gilliland finished 32nd and finished 13 laps down. That is the cost of that kind of afternoon. And when you look at the full penalty report from Texas, it becomes clear that Gilliland was not the only one having a rough day with the rulebook. The list was long. Chad Fincham in the number 66 car got penalized multiple times, speeding on pit road on lap 39, crew members over the wall too soon on lap 51, and another speeding penalty on lap 76. William Byron got penalized for pitting before pit road was open on lap 93. Ty Gibbs received the same penalty on lap 102. Kyle Larson was penalized on lap 160 for pitting before pit road was open while heading to the garage. Ross Chastain got caught speeding on pit road on lap 210. Cody Ware had a difficult afternoon with 2 separate penalties. And Noah Gragson got hit for speeding on pit road late in the race. That is a lot of penalties across a lot of teams. And yet, Texas still only saw 5 cautions for cause during the entire race, which for Texas Motor Speedway honestly feels almost unbelievable given the track's history. This is a place that usually eats cars for breakfast. Chase Elliott, clean, sharp, and still standing. Through all of that chaos, one driver did what championship-level drivers do. Chase Elliott stayed clean, survived the madness, and walked away with his second NASCAR Cup Series win of the season. No controversy, no drama, just a clean, well-executed race that held up perfectly through post-race inspection. NASCAR confirmed no cars would be taken back to the Research and Development Center following Texas, meaning Elliott's win stood without any additional questions. And that is the message right there. In a weekend where engines blew before qualifying, where drivers started from the back before the green flag even dropped, where one driver collected 6 identical penalties in a single afternoon, Chase Elliott just kept it clean and took the win. That is a statement. That is what separates drivers who are building towards something this season from drivers who are falling behind. The bigger picture, an unforgiving season. Here at NASCAR Wire Report, the takeaway from this Texas weekend is clear. The 2025 Cup Series season is absolutely unforgiving right now. One blown engine destroys your qualifying. One practice crash sends you to a backup car. One pit road error costs you a lap. 6 pit road errors cost you 13 laps in an entire race day. The margin for error in modern NASCAR is razor thin. And the teams and drivers who understand that, who execute cleanly week after week, are the ones who are going to control this playoff picture when it matters most. For Bubba Wallace, Texas adds more pressure to an already intense season. For Todd, Gilliland, and Front Row Motorsports, this is a race to learn from fast and move forward. And for Chase Elliott, this is momentum that is starting to look very real and very dangerous for the rest of the field. This season is unpredictable. It is intense. And it is exactly why NASCAR fans keep showing up every single Sunday. Because any given weekend, everything can change in an instant. Stay locked in with NASCAR Wire Report. We will be right here breaking it all down every step of the way. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure you are subscribed. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Bubba Wallace's situation this season? And can you believe 6 penalties for the same mistake? Let us know below. We will see you in the next one.